Hi, you're listening to Phil DeBella, and this is Flashcast by PDB. Today I'm joined by a dear friend, but also somebody I admire in an amazing position. He's the managing partner of BDO Queensland, Mr. Stephen Sorbello. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much, Phil.
We're going to put you through the 5 questions, Steve, and no doubt your words of wisdom are going to inspire many, so no pressure at all, of course. But here we go. Number 1, what is your favourite mantra? Words or quotes? And how does it inspire you?
I've been one for quotes for a while. It's an interesting question because I have quite a few, but I'll need to mention a couple here. Probably one that was told to me very early on in life by a good friend of my parents is that if it is to be, it's up to me. And when I always have wanted something to happen, it's such a simple saying, but I've always come back to that to think if I don't act or do something to make it happen, it's not going to happen by accident. That's probably one that I respond to quite often. There's a whole range of other quotes that I often like to refer to around teams, but a strong team or a star team is always going to beat a team of star players is another one that I like. But probably one of the key ones which has been central to me is, focus on the process and the outcome will take care of itself. I think that's a really powerful topic or powerful saying when you're going through trying to resolve a problem or facing a challenge. Rather than worrying about where you're going to end up, just focus on what you're doing and the process and the rest of it will take care of itself.
So some great insights there. So from the first one, I take get in the river. You don't get in the river, then you're not part of the action. The second one is all about you. You've got to make sure that you're heading in the right direction in what you're doing. And the third one is without people, you can't really do much. So some really good insights, and you can see already why I've got Stephen on the show. Number 2. If you could solve one problem in the world, what would it be and how would you go about it?
I think from what I've seen over the years, most is not the right word. A lot of issues which exist, particularly between people and between personalities, come back to communication. And if you can have people having a conversation in a respectful way, notwithstanding the fact that they might have different views, I think a lot of today's problems will be addressed well and truly before they become big problems. So probably trying to find a way, not sure if it's through schools or some sort of education process whereby people are better educated on communication and how to have respectful discussions with each other on perhaps controversial, but certainly difficult topics to avoid running into problems down the track.
No, very good. How would you go about it?
Look, I think that's an interesting question. Really, you would have to design a program, I think, that would challenge some people that wanted to change, and I guess had examples of these sorts of issues so that they could practice. And I think using real life examples to develop a program would probably be the place to start.
Yeah, no, well said. And I often say that the common denominator of success is people forming a habit of doing what people are not prepared to do. And the common denominator of failure is poor communication. So I align with you there very strongly. Number 3, what is your biggest fear and how do you deal with it?
Probably... look, I think letting people down is my biggest fear. So whether that's my fellow BDO partners, our team in the office, family, kids, my wife, Sharon, letting people down is probably probably my biggest fear.
Yeah, and how do you deal with it? Because that would be common with many people, right? Our lives are made up of personal, professional, family. You've mentioned all 3. So how do you go about putting some steps in place to sort of combat that fear?
Well, I think this comes back probably to that initial saying that I talked about, focusing on the process. So you're doing the best you can, focus on the process, don't worry about the outcome. I might let someone down at some point, and whilst I might fear that, if you focus on the process and do the best you can at each point, then hopefully it will take care of itself.
Yeah, the key there for me is that one step, is all about today being better than yesterday and tomorrow better than today, and learning from our process. Number 4, what lesson, experience or moment in life has changed the way you think?
I think one of the things that changed the way I think is when I realised that making myself redundant was the easiest way to develop other people and grow a team. So I think earlier on in my career, I was a bit of a control freak, wanted to make sure I was across everything, and being able to do everything, perhaps not wanting others to feel like I wasn't contributing enough. But then realising and having a couple of events, which probably don't have long enough to go into now in 10 minutes, but having a couple of events which made me realise you can't be across everything. And that really to grow other people and to grow a team is make yourself redundant, give them as much opportunity as you can, give responsibility to them. If you've got the right team around you, they'll lap it up, they'll grow, they'll in turn push and delegate to others, and which will in turn create growth opportunities for them. And all of a sudden you got a team which just through momentum will just about run you over.
Yeah, no, I love this because I find that there's 2 types of people in this area. There's the ones that want to be across everything and want to be across everything, and they don't realise that the growth and opportunity is limited. And then there's those that actually focus on helping others be the best versions of themselves and take businesses to great heights. So I love that point. Number 5, last question. Stephen, finish the sentence. When I leave a room, I would like people to
have fun solving problems that I've left them with, because this thing's a game.
A game? Explain more. I'm intrigued.
Well, everything we do, again, this is something that I've come to learn, but everything we do is really about strategy. You've taught me a lot about this, about strategy, about working out how to go about solving problems. And if I'm in a room with people, I'm assuming in this particular instance here, we might be in a business sense, trying to solve problems, which is often what we're doing in these settings. It is a game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. And if I've left the room and left some people with some problems, I just hope that they're having fun and enjoying playing that game and solving those problems, because at the end of the day, if they're not enjoying it, there's not much point being there.
Yeah, interesting, and I love that, and some great reflections there. And now you can see the 5 questions and how we shaped them is that every time I interview somebody, we get different answers, we get some great insights from different perspectives from people of all walks of life, including my own children, right through to people that are heading up amazing organisations like BDO. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, Steve. It's an honour to be a friend, but it's also an honour to be doing stuff with you in more ways than just friendship. So I thank you for being on the show. And I wish you nothing but great prosperity and success. I've no doubt of where you'll take BDO.
Likewise, Phil. It's a pleasure having you and your family as dear friends, great friends, and really appreciate all the advice and help that you give along the way.
No, it's welcome. Thank you. So you've been listening to Phil Di Bella and Stephen Sorbello, Managing Partner of BDO Queensland. Until next time, go and be the best you can be. You've been listening to Phil Di Bella, and this is Flashcast by PDB.